Years ago, a TV show was born that brought satire to the screens, discomfort to the establishment, and launched the careers of David Frost, Millicent Martin, Willie Rushton, Roy Kinnear, and many others. Now on BBC4, celebratory highlights of That Was the Week That Was.
This is BBC Television.
To your head, but they'd rather have a job to hold on to instead. Unemployment is starting a drift to the south. They're coming to London from Leeds and from Laos. The north may be dirty, deserted and bleak, but have they thought of how our London's been looking this week?
A smoggy day in London town. 5 smoggy days have got me down.
Authorized vernacular translation, for this is the age of mass communication. Jackie Kennedy's plastered on physique magazines. Shall we have Lady Dorothy in sweater and jeans? The Queen saved the guards from a terrible flight. They won't have to stand out in their bearskins all night.
The official reason for changing the guards to peaked cap is that it's done in the interests of security.
Why change the guard at Buckingham Palace? Christopher Robin kept asking Alice. It's all because of security. At last the poor dears will be able to see. Says Alice.
The Roman Church may be bringing its mass up to date, but here, Lord Montgomery has announced that it's time we had a go at our hymns.
Oh God, our help in ages trust. Remember we implore, if we for human brotherhood, you'll have to make some more. Teach thou our neighbors us to love as we do love ourselves, and make the fallout from above fall out on someone else.
That was the week that was. It's over, let it go. Oh, what a week that was. That was the week that was.
Lovers of South Africa will be disappointed tomorrow morning. The 3 heavy Sunday papers will not have another instalment of those delightful conversations between 2 wonderfully reasonable people, which have been appearing regularly in advertisements paid for by South Africa House. I've got some here. They're wonderful, sort of guardedly violent questions from one person, followed by wonderfully understanding answers from the other, all terribly reasonable. Any admirer of the quick parry and thrust will miss this kind of stuff paid for by South Africa House. So we've brought together those 2 fine debaters again to continue this lively, controversial discussion.
Aren't there a lot more black people than white ones in South Africa? And so shouldn't they perhaps run the country?
Well, of course they are. That's precisely the point. You see, there are so many more of them that they have less need to say as much as a few white people.
Yes, I see. How silly of me. But even so, wouldn't they like the chance?
There you go again with your silly old European ideas. No, you see, in a new civilization like ours, we just can't afford to leave things to chance.
No, of course not. But it seems to some people that you leave very little to chance. What with house arrest and barbed wire around the natives' villages?
This is just the kind of things our critics are always saying. Dear me. In Africa, you see, words like house have quite a different meaning. Quite different. Until recently, the Bantus didn't even have houses. Didn't even know the word. So as you can see, house arrest gives people a sort of prestige. It's like a status symbol, really. I mean, you mentioned barbed wire around the villages, too, didn't you? Well, that's just the sort of distraction which journalists are always putting up, too. I mean, I can imagine a Bantu coming to London and thinking all houses with railings in front of them were prisons. If, of course, the Bantus were allowed to come to London.
I'm so glad you cleared that up for me. You don't think, then, that black people are inferior to white people, do you?
Of course not. If we did, do you think we'd go to all this trouble to suppress them?
It's been announced this week that illegitimate babies in London are no longer 1 in 10. They're 1 in 8. And that is not a decrease, it's in fact an increase, which is very sad, and doesn't it almost mean that they should have a lullaby all to themselves?